Please introduce yourself and tell us about what you do.
Hi, Vit. Hi, everyone. My name is Ilona Biedroń, and I'm an expert at the Institute of Meteorology and Water Management, National Research Institute. I have been dealing with water management issues in Poland for over 20 years. Nowadays, we are facing one of the most difficult challenges, increasing the scale of natural-based solutions that can improve our water balance and thus reduce water problems. And this is what I am currently focusing on.
What was the problem you wanted to solve in your hydrological and water management practices?
When I took on the role of government expert in the restoration of surface water, I was aware that as a society, we are not taught to solve problems at their source. In recent decades, we have overly transformed the landscape, resulting in greater problems with water. We fight against its abundance, scarcity, or poor quality. This is why we are starting to support the creation of system solutions from their very beginnings. Clear information and education that explain not only the role of rivers, but also the processes of water circulation in the landscape that we are transforming. I believe that understanding these processes make it easier to take action to improve the condition of water and ecosystems that depends on it.
What were the drivers for the initiative? Water Framework Directive? Another legal requirement?
At the end of February 2025, we launched the first government service dedicated to river restoration. The address of this website, I hope that I will give you to put on our video. And we developed it to support the implementation of restoration measures included in river basin management plans. And we are aware that environmental objectives may not be a sufficient argument for society to accept such a challenge. Therefore, we explain that restoration measures mitigate the effects of floods and droughts and improve the quality of surface water. In other words, there are measures to adapt to climate change that at the same time improve biodiversity. So we therefore refer to a number of documents related to the objectives of Water Framework Directive, Flood Directive, Nature Restoration Law, and climate strategies, and above all, Polish planning law.
What is important about this work, its goals? What is special or unique about it?
Our goal was to gather basic knowledge about the challenges of river water restoration in one place. We show on the map the 70% of river water bodies for which concrete restoration measures should be taken by the end of 2027. We combine this information with experience in this area. So we indicate specific places where we have carried out our restoration measures in the last 3 decades and those that are planned in the near future. To provide context, we explain what restoration is and how to start, how should participate in this process, and why it is worth taking on the challenge. We also explained that the restoration project itself is a part of a long-term process.
What impact did you anticipate on freshwater restoration and facilitating future projects?
We hope that access to information and knowledge that is provided in clear language will be facilitate dialogue with the public and build trust in nature-based solutions. The service is mainly aimed at the local municipalities who decides on urban space, including space for rivers. So they are a key stakeholder in this process.
What measures did you take to achieve the goals of the initiative?
The website consists of two main elements, the map and the knowledge. The dynamic map brings together available information and information that we collect ourselves or we developed in our other statutory activities. To make the message to the recipients clearer, we offer basic knowledge in the form of interviews instead of a standard glossary. To this purpose, we have asked Polish experts who have been dealing with river restoration for many, many years to share their knowledge. These experts are not only scientists, natural scientists, but also hydrologists, geographers, hydromorphologists, engineers, and representatives of water management authorities and non-governmental organizations.
Was the website focus the biodiversity as well?
Not directly, however, it's clear, of course, for us that any restoration action will achieve improvements in biodiversity. Our main focus is to point out that problems with rivers are linked to their transformation, and restoring rivers and regaining their lost functions can effectively mitigate these problems.
Where did the funding come from? And did the funders impose any specific constraints?
We have realized the website with our internal resources. We have combined our specialist knowledge with IT resources. We want this website, just like restoration, to be a long-term initiative that we plan to develop and use to share our knowledge with an ever-growing users.
What were the main challenges in implementing this initiative?
I think that developing the website in such a way that the knowledge gathered is understandable to everyone, and on the other hand, it doesn't lose its expert and scientific value. Speaking in a clear language that encourages the society to listen is a big challenge for scientists these days.
What would you do differently next time and why?
We have limited human and financial resources, so we matched our strengths to our intentions, hoping to gradually develop to the service. We are planning to launch a newsletter to address local governments. We are also planning to verify the field part of the restoration activities, and we want to select some of them as knowledge sites, which we will describe in more detail so that they can be helpful knowledge for others. Of course, if we manage to get additional funding to develop, our goals will certainly be more ambitious.
Were there things that you wanted to do but could not?
Of course, on the one hand, there were things that we were unable to do to technical limitations. And on the other hand, we did much more than we had initially planned, because this is the result of the open-mindedness and willingness to cooperate of many, many people who contributed their knowledge and working hours to the service. And this is the most important thing for me here. It is the result of teamwork.
How can the knowledge gathered be used elsewhere? Who can benefit from it?
The website is part of the development activities of the Institute of Meteorology and Water Management, which provides scientific and expert support to the Ministry of Infrastructure in the area of water management. However, the state water holding Polish Waters are the main water entity responsible for water management in Poland. Our website is open to everyone interested in the topic, but as I said before, we particularly address it to local government, which plays a key role in river restoration by, for example, provide space for rivers or organizing educational activities to prepare the local society for nature-based solution.
How the service contributes to building resilience and adaptation to climate change?
Our map functionality allows you to display a number of thematic layers, which enables a quick visual analysis that will indicate the key justification for undertaking river restoration in terms of the main two threats, floods and hydrological drought. Why? Because the effects of climate change are clearly visible in Poland. We have increasingly warmer winters and less water is accumulating in the snow. Also in September 2024, during the floods in the southwestern part of the country, we had a hydrological drought in the central and northeastern parts of Poland. We do not have much influence on climate change as an individual people, but we do have a real impact on the shaping of our landscape. And we clearly emphasize this on our website.
How could your experience on this website help others implement successful restoration works?
We provide access to information. We explain how to plan a restoration project and refer the latest manuals and guidelines in this field. And also by indicating the location of the restoration project and information about the investor or a link to the project, we provide easy access to the institutions that carried on the restoration. So we hope that this will lead to direct contact and knowledge sharing between stakeholders group.
What do you see as the main challenges for freshwater restoration projects now in Poland?
The restoration of rivers in Poland requires a system approach, building not only openness and public trust in restoration measures, but also the training of experts and officials, the development of a range of tool and institutional support, especially in legal and financial terms.
In your experience, what would you recommend to someone wanting to implement restoration projects to do as a priority?
That your idea can solve many problems faced by the local community. Co-creation and co-governance are the keys to lasting partnerships and success.
What would you recommend that they try to avoid?
As experts, we cannot place ourselves above the local community and impose solutions that we consider appropriate. These people have local knowledge and needs. We should be able to listen to them, ask questions not about solution, but more about how they would like to live with the river. Then we can offer them solutions that will meet their needs and thus be more acceptable. We must be open to dialogue and to the fact that we have to meet at some point in order to move forward together. Keep in mind that the experts will leave after the project is completed, while the local community will remain. And ideally, they will be the ones to take care of the effects of the restoration just for themselves.
Do you have any suggestion for a government or the European Commission as to measures that might help enable more and more successful restoration projects?
I have already mentioned the need for a system approach to restoration. So let me tell you an example. In order to restore rivers, we need to ensure that there is space for them. Financial solutions should be developed to enable the purchase of private land along rivers or compensation for owners of riparian land. Without financial resources, it will be difficult to gain acceptance of river flooding in a valley or acceptance of its channel forming processes.
In summary, what are your key messages for those facing the restoration challenge?
At this point, I will use a phrase that came about during the Odra disaster in 2022. Dredge knowledge, not rivers.
Thank you very much for your answers. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much.